My Dress Up Darlings fan service is some of the most mature, thoughtful, and brilliantly written shit I've ever seen, and you all need to go watch this shit now. Take this scene from when Marin starts stripping, right? Gojo is all like, no, and it's like, psych, she's just cosplaying, right? But oh my god, there's so much to break down here. So let's start with the smartest shot in this first episode, when she dances around and this gust of wind blows up her skirt and gives us this beautiful shot of her panties. Not only does this shot show just how much of a virgin Gojo is, I mean, you can practically hear the boner ripping a hole in his pants, but what makes this so brilliant is this not only captures her enthusiasm, but also her talent for sewing, which is to say, zero, far better than any words or actions ever could. Even if we removed the entire rest of this episode, this one shot tells us literally everything we need to know. Her extremely shoddy dress blows up because she's so horrible at sewing, but she literally doesn't notice because she's so excited by this person that could help her achieve her dreams. Sure, right now her dress is a fucking mess, but she still looks so good in it because it shows off her overflowing sexuality and her sheer passion and enthusiasm for life and everything she's doing. And so the one scene with this outfit, this girl, the one panty shot to end all panty shots, is the bones of everything the show plans to do, and we see it and we become Gojo. It perfectly captures Gojo's sudden infatuation with her and her energy and the idea that someone finally has taken an interest in his girly hobby and that he could finally be useful to someone. This is a crazy accomplishment for a half-second panty shot, dude. In every other anime, panties are just panties, but here her whole personality is wrapped up in her sexy, sorry, where was I going? Eroge, right? Right, yeah, I mean, we all play eroge. All of us have made multiple videos talking about eroge, right? Good, sure, let's go with that. I'll link them at the end. So the shot at the beginning of episode 2 of her bending over shows how alpha and aloof she is and how much she doesn't even care. Yeah, I'm not convincing anyone with this. Let's move on to the next one. Psych! Psych, of course I am. What, you really thought I had nothing to say about this? You, Sarah, are wrong. Because there is so much to unpack here. Let me break down how this entire episode is a work of goddamn art. But first, do me a favor, step on the like button. Okay, so this boob bounce is completely necessary to put ourselves in Gojo's shoes because we, not virgins, am I right guys, would not get flustered just seeing a girl in her swimsuit, but here is Gojo touching her all over, and so we really need to be able to put ourselves in his shoes. And so every glorious second of this episode is absolutely necessary to show how uncomfortable he is as she barges into his room and starts shoving her tight, sexy nubile curves, all up in his face in the part where he goes, "Concentrate!" And the music stops and her boobs start bouncing and you really feel his concentration. And see, this is exactly what I was talking about. I touched myself like 4 times to this. Where was I going with this? Right, I was talking about how this show doesn't show titties. Because right at the end, she gets flustered, and even though she's still wearing a swimsuit, it suddenly stops showing us her titties altogether. It shows us her face, and then her back, and then her back again, and then she shyly covers her butt crack with her hand. And then it gives us a final close-up of the back of her head. Rather than sexy, she feels naked and exposed, and it's embarrassing. It's this sense of duality that Marin's personality was hiding up until this very moment. And it's this sudden, dramatic change in tone that really helps convey her embarrassment and gets us in her head instead of Gojo's. So to say that the earlier fan service was necessary is like saying my dick is kind of hard right now. A big fucking understatement. This last moment of her covering her face with her hair would not be nearly as powerful were it not for all the fan service leading up to it. Because without it, we'd just feel like we're watching an awkward kid touch boobies for the first time, and then the switch to Marin's perspective would be, well, still like watching an awkward kid touching boobies for the very first time. And it's this give and take of fan service that really gets us in and out of the characters' heads. At the beginning of episode 3, when Gojo has a wet dream about her, it doesn't actually show us anything lewd. Instead, it shows us her eyes because it knows that love is the sexiest fan service of them all, and she even says so in the last episode. It doesn't actually show us anything gratuitous because the emphasis is on her, not her body. If she was just a pair of hot 2D titties, then we wouldn't give a fuck. But this way we know that what he realizes he wants is her, not her body, and that's why he can't look her in the eyes. He's finally found someone he can be himself around, and he doesn't know how to deal with being so attracted to her. That's what I think is so brilliant about this story. The fan service is only there to serve the story. It's not afraid to rub it in our faces if the story demands it, but also, and I think this is where it needs all the credit it can get, it's not afraid to hold it back either. And we really see this by the 4th episode, where she's wearing a plain black t-shirt rather than her ordinary cool sexy outfit because she's supposed to be sad and remorseful. Removing all traces of eroticism here really lets her apology shine through. If she were wearing something even kind of sexy, we'd still forgive her, but for all the wrong reasons. We'd be like, yeah, we forgive you. God, you're so fucking hot. I need to go jerk off again. But because she's not eroticized in the slightest here, the only thing we have to go off of is her apology itself, and so it comes across as completely genuine. I think this show handles fanservice smarter than any show I've ever seen. Not just in the intelligent way of writing fanservice in, but in the way it deliberately and obviously restrains itself. And then right at the end, when everything's settled and she's supposed to cosplay and become this extremely erotic icon, it's completely comfortable with suddenly ripping off her shirt and having her titties bounce line. And it's like, okay, now that the serious shit is out of the way, we can go back to jerking off to anime titties. Come on, friends, let's give it a try. A good story needs balance. Balance in all things. Just because it shows restraint when it needs to doesn't mean it shouldn't also rip off those chains when the time is right, because timing is, excuse me a minute. Right, so the first cosplay episode is like, wow, super hot, like boobies, am I right? But then she takes it off on the train ride home and she's just plain and normal with zero fan service, and they just look like friends hanging out. Because they are. And because she's not sexualized here, when it ends with him telling her she's beautiful, it's just so normal. I know I complain on this channel a lot about fanservice, but this is what I mean. Sono Pescador wa Koyosaru understands that fanservice, just like any other storytelling device, is merely one of many tools that anime uses to tell a story. Oh yeah, sure, it's a story where this fits in really well, but that's kind of the fucking point. If you want to have fanservice, write a story where not only does it fit in, but you can use it for emotional payoff. Like, maybe 86, you shouldn't be telling a mature and thoughtful war story if the story you really want to be telling us is about having titties up the ass. Subscribe for my 86 analysis coming soon. And so, Sono Pescador wa Koyosaru is only half finished, but as the king of weeaboos, it's my job to bring enlightenment to the unwashed masses, and as such, I am only more than happy to cheer on any anime that does this well, dick in hand, as it rises into the stratospheres of weebdom. Thank you so much for your time, friends. If you enjoyed this, you might consider checking out my video on Domestic Girlfriend, which is, in my humble opinion, the single most intelligent trash ever written. Thanks again for watching, friends, and I will see you next time.